Welcome to One More Hour, the podcast all about backyard ultras, timed races, and the ultra running mindset of going one more. If you're an ultra runner, a trail or ultra runner curious about the format, or just someone who loves to test your limits, you're in the right place. I'm Jackie Wilson, an ultra marathon and marathon run coach, trail runner, outdoor enthusiast, and backyard ultra expert. On this show, I'll bring you stories, strategies, and conversations with runners, race directors, experts, and more to help you go further, dig deeper, and keep going when everything in you says stop. Thank you so much for joining me for some yards. Let's get started with one more. Welcome back to the One More Hour podcast. Today we are diving into pacing for your next backyard ultra. It's going to be short, but it's going to be packed with advice on how to pace the backyard ultra, things to think about for your training and for race day, and then stats on the 2025 Biggs Backyard Individual Championship. Just kind of about some average finish times for each yard that I found pretty interesting. So let's talk about pacing. For those who are new to the backyard ultra, there are two common thought processes that I see when it comes to pacing. It is easy to think 4.167 miles every hour is only just over a 14-minute per mile pace, which is just under 9 minutes per kilometer. That's super easy. I can do that forever. That is common thought process number one. Thought process number two is it is also easy to think I can run at an easy 9:30, 10 minute per mile on the trails and have 20 minutes back at camp to sit down and chill and rest. Okay, so those are two common thought processes that I see, and I want to talk about how it's not necessarily the case. Also, for those who are new to trail running, it is common to try to match your pace on the road to paces on the trail. Please do not do that. Especially for backyard ultras, my number one piece of advice for trail running is to walk the hills and run the downhills and the flats based on effort. Like, don't pay attention to your watch because you're going to be disappointed if you're trying to match your pace on the roads. Just don't do it. There is a reason why ultra marathons take a long time and they go far. They're not a flat road. The majority of them are not a flat road race. You need walking. You need hiking. It's part of the race. Walking and hiking and keeping a low effort level allows you to go further. So start shifting your mindset when it comes to walking and hiking because that's going to take you further. Keeping a lower effort level is essential to the backyard ultra format, and going further is the entire point of the format. So both fit very well into your backyard. In general, when you are doing a backyard ultra, you're going to want to leave enough time at the end of each hour so that you can do what you need at base camp, right? You're going to grab more fuel. You might need to change your clothes, your shoes, your socks, use the bathroom, check out the aid station, see what kind of food they have. You might need to adjust some blisters. You might need to adjust some chafing. Like, whatever you need to do, that time after you finish your yard and before the top of the next hour is your time to do what you need to. But at the same time, you don't want to leave too much time to the extent that you are wasting energy on the course because you are running harder than you should be, raising your heart rate, so that you can get back to camp to spend more time at camp. Okay, so there's a balance between the two. Your pacing and your timing will depend on the course profile, but aiming for 8 to 12 minutes back at camp is a good rule of thumb. If courses are hillier or the trail is more technical, or if the first half of the course is uphill, you may be closer to the 8-minute mark. It all depends on the course. If the course is flatter and you're needing to really manage your walk time, like you have to force yourself. There are no hills, so you're like, I have to walk now just to make sure that I keep it super easy and chill. You may come in a little faster. I've ran both types of courses. I've had a course where there's over 400 feet of elevation gain per yard. It was literally up or down the entire time. We walked the uphills, we ran the downhills, and we were coming in right at that 50-minute mark. I've ran a very flat course. There were minimal hills and the hills were very gradual. So probably less than 100, maybe 50 feet of elevation gain for the entire yard. And because it was hot and there was shade on the course, it made it easier for us to be like, okay, we should walk now. But you have to manage your timing and your pacing when you're going to be walking for those flatter courses. But overall, your pacing needs to keep your effort level low, and it's going to depend on who you are as an individual. So if your pacing brings you back to base camp with 6 minutes remaining and you kept your energy low the entire time, that's great. Like, you still have 6 minutes. So don't worry about other people who are coming in ahead of you. Don't kill yourself and push your heart rate and hit threshold just to be running the same times that other runners are running. Do what you need to do to keep it easy and a lower effort level. Your breaks in the beginning, in the first few hours, are going to seem pointless. They're going to seem long. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the longest 10 minutes of my life. You're going to want to get back out there, but just be patient. Try to think ahead of like, okay, in 4 hours, I'm going to want to eat something more substantial. Or in 2 yards or 2 hours, I'm going to want to change my socks. So I'm just going to make a note of that and I'm going to set them out. Fill up the flasks or the bladders that you were using on your last yards so that you are as prepared as you can be for the later hours with that extra time that you have. As you go further into the race, your breaks are going to fly by because you're going to have more things that you want and need to do, and you're going to have to prioritize those things. So if you get back with 12 minutes left and you need to use the bathroom, you need to change your socks and address a blister, you need to get more fuel and fill your bladder, and there's just more things that you need to do and address as you get later into the race. So just understand that 12 minutes may feel long in the beginning, but then short the further you get into the race. That being said, crew is very important in ultras. You cannot go far by yourself. Yes, a lot of runners do, but if you want to go even further, it's very beneficial to have a crew, period. Crew becomes even more important the later on you are into the race. And when that time between ending your current yard and starting the next one shortens. So your crew can have everything ready for you right there for when you finish your yard and turn around and head right back out. They can have your water, your fuel, or whatever, but they cannot give you fuel and water once you start that yard. So that's why it's important to have them right there for you if you need that. As you start slowing down, you're walking more, you might be getting a little stiff from dehydration or fatigue or whatever it may be. So you start to feel the miles more. Please don't panic. You still have time. Do not stop with time left on the clock. And what I mean by that is it is very common for first-timers to quit when that first yard comes in shorter than what the rest of their yards have been. So if they are consistently running, coming in with 10 to 12 minutes left, and their most recent yard they came in with, let's say, 7 minutes left, a lot of times first-time backyarders panic and they say, I'm slowing down, I'm done. And they quit and they take that DNF right there, even though they have the potential to go a lot farther. Don't let that get into your head. You still have plenty of time. You can go for hours and even days with only a few minutes left in the yards. If you look at the stats on Big's Backyard website of the 2025 Individual World Championships, the average yard is around like 55 minutes for the duration of the event. Evo did 57 yards over 55 minutes, and he had the assist at 113 yards. It is insane how much further you can go with just a few minutes left on the clock. So please don't get into the mindset of if you are starting to slow down or walk a little bit more or take a little more time out on the course and you're coming in with less time, that is okay. Just keep going. Just get out there, use that finish and start as a reset, and just keep going hour after hour after hour. If you are getting stiff and you are slowing down some, it's okay to take more time out on the course. I think the further you get into the race, the better it feels to just keep on moving. As long as I have time to grab water, grab some more fuel, maybe change my socks, I don't want to be standing or sitting around for much time because I get stiff then. So I like to be moving. The last backyard that I did, my last 2 yards, I came in with less than, it was like 10 seconds left, less than a minute left for those two. But when I came in on yard 19 and I literally just turned around and headed back out, I felt so good because I did not take any time to stand around and sit around. I didn't get stiff and I didn't have that initial, like, let's get warmed up again and get moving again. So if you are starting to get stiff, slow down a little bit more, keep moving, and take less time back at camp where you're just standing or sitting around. Again, I will say the backyard is easy until it's not. Running and walking and hiking should feel easy. Like, it should feel very easy those first 12 hours. You want your effort level low. You want your heart rate low. You want to conserve that energy. Keeping it easy allows you to go further and longer in the backyard format, period. I've seen runners run fast loops, but they don't last as long. I've seen them sprint. I've seen them go out for 34, 36 minute yards, and it doesn't end well, or they do slow down a lot at the end and they burn out. So although there are situations based on fitness levels where you can be running faster yards, stick to what the results say. So if you look at the average yard times for the top 5 runners at Backyard Ultras, they aren't traditionally fast. They are in the 50-minute range. Look at Biggs at the World Championship results that just happened in October. Again, I mentioned that Evo did 57 yards in over 55 minutes. He had the assist at 113 yards. John Knoll from the U.S. did 111 yards. Harvey Lewis did 111 yards as well. John Knoll did 54 yards at over 55 minutes. They're not coming in with 20 minutes to spare. They are out there. So just remember that the backyard is about how far can I go instead of how fast can I run each yard. Pacing is, again, all individual. It's about your abilities. You should also be considering your needs at camp. Do you want to sleep at all? Will you have crew, or are you going to be self-supported? If you're going to be self-supported, you're going to need a little bit more time back at camp. You may want to run some sections that are faster just to open up your stride. If you're used to running a bit faster, like if your regular easy pace is quite a bit faster, you run a faster marathon, half marathon, and so forth, this pace may feel inefficient to you, so you may want to open up your legs for a certain section of each yard, or for one loop every how many yards or whatever. Some races have showers that you can use during the race. Are you going to be grabbing food at an aid station? Maybe you need more time for the bathroom. So there are times where you may want to come in a little bit faster depending on what you need to do back at base camp, and then maybe the next one you want to take it slower. If you have the opportunity to run the course before race day, I definitely recommend it. This will help you see what the pacing strategy looks like. Like, oh yeah, I should definitely walk this section. It's a gradual uphill, but it's pretty long. Or this downhill section is pretty technical, so I'm gonna walk this section. But if you aren't able to run the course, that's okay. I would look online to see if there are any YouTube videos, reels on Instagram, or posts about it, just so you can get a little more familiar with what it looks like. And then also finding a section of trail at home that you can train on that has similar elevation gain to help you practice walking and running. It is a skill to switch from walking to running, and it's something that should be practiced. So if you can get a good feel of like, okay, this is going to be an easy jog, I'm going to walk this uphill, I'm going to jog the downhill, this flat section, that gets you a better feel for how pacing should go on race day. But then again, if you can't do either one of those, run with the group when you start your first loop on race day, because there's going to be a lot of experienced runners there and they're going to know what they're doing. So follow the experienced runners, because they're going to do the pacing strategy that you should follow of running the flat sections, the downhills, and then walking the uphill sections. Also, some races have a day course and a night course. So the night course tends to be maybe a shorter loop where you run the loop twice, or they're on the road. So The night courses could be faster just because of the terrain. They're flat, they're easy. Maybe you do want to take advantage of some sleep. I know that Phil Gore mentioned that he was trying to get in some sleep after each yard in the later days of the race during the night. So he was running some faster yards there. So it's okay to run some faster yards as long as you're not exerting too much energy. Depending on the pros and the cons of why you want to run them faster at night. But also remember that walking is part of it. So if you're not comfortable with night running, if you want to take it super easy and you want to walk more and conserve energy for the day, for the trail course, for the day course, it's definitely a good strategy to take. But again, I want to emphasize that everyone is different. Everyone's fitness level is different. Everyone's strategy is different. The backyard is a great format to run with people for hours because you're starting at the same time every hour. So you're going to see the same people every single hour. But you need to make sure what you are doing is best for your race. So if you're running with some other runners who are running faster than you typically would and your heart rate is getting up, please don't run with them all the time. Maybe just run for them at the beginning for a little bit, or maybe every other yard or something for a short period of time, because if you raise your effort level, your chances of staying in the race for a longer period of time decrease. Keep your effort level low and do what is best for your race. Now, I want to say working with a coach to figure out what is best for your training and for your race is a great path to take. I've got one-on-one coaching spots available if you are interested. I love chatting with athletes before they sign up, so please reach out if you want to set up a quick 15-minute chat just to talk about training, how it would go, your history, ask any questions that you have about run coaching. Definitely love having those conversations. But remember that pacing is individual. Everyone is different. Everyone's training for a backyard is going to be different too. So you really need to do what is best for you and your fitness level and what your goals are, and not necessarily what maybe one of your friends is doing for training for a backyard. I also want to mention that I have a 25% off code for Duff Dog Backyard Ultra in Laverne, Minnesota. It's in October 2026. It's our latest episode with Amy Fight, the 2025 Duff Dog champion. She had the assist in 2024. This year she went 29 yards for the win. So I definitely would recommend listening to it. We talk a lot about the course, the experience, the race director. It's just, I absolutely love the race. I will be running again in 2026, and I would love to see even more runners out there. So if you haven't finalized your 2026 goals yet, your races, if you don't have something lined up for fall of 2026, I highly recommend the race. So use code Jackie Wilson 25. Jackie is JACI, Wilson WILSON, before December 1st to get 25% off. Thanks for tuning in to One More Hour. If you enjoyed this episode, hit follow so you don't miss the next yard, and share it with a runner who loves pushing their limits. I'd love to hear your own stories of going one more. Connect with me on Instagram at the One More Hour Podcast. And if you could leave a quick review, it'll help more runners find the show and keep going when they want to stop. Until next time, just go one more hour.